What Women Want is a 2000 romantic comedy directed by Nancy Meyers, starring Mel Gibson as a chauvinistic advertising executive who gains the ability to hear women's thoughts after a freak accident. Co-starring Helen Hunt as his ambitious new boss, the film blends humor, romance, and self-discovery as the protagonist learns to change his perspective on women and relationships.
Nick Marshall is a successful and confident advertising executive in Chicago. Raised by a Las Vegas showgirl mother, Nick has always seen himself as a ladies' man, charming yet arrogant, with little understanding or respect for women beyond their physical appeal. He expects to be promoted at his ad agency, but instead, the position goes to Darcy McGuire, a talented and forward-thinking executive brought in to help the company better connect with female customers.
Hello, I'm Darcy.
Hi, I'm Nick Marshall.
Oh, I've heard a lot about you, Nick.
Oh, and I've heard a lot about you too, Darcy.
Well, don't worry. Can't all be true.
Let's hope not. Hey.
Furious and determined to prove his worth, Nick takes home a box of female-oriented products that Darcy assigned him to study for an upcoming campaign. While testing items like pantyhose, lipsticks, and wax strips, he accidentally slips in the bathtub while holding a hairdryer, electrocuting himself. The next morning, he wakes up with a strange new ability.
2 slices of toast, 150 calories, plus a tab and a half of butter, another 150.
So estrogen is good for the heart, but bad for the breasts.
What?
My kid doesn't eat Ritalin.
I can only get him to listen to what I say. Monsieur, I need to poop.
At first, Nick is overwhelmed by the constant flood of internal dialogue from women around him, from his colleagues to strangers on the street. However, after consulting a doctor, he soon realizes he can use this power to his advantage. He begins to anticipate what women want, using their unspoken thoughts to charm them and improve his work performance. He even steals Darcy's ideas, impressing the company and overshadowing her.
I just want you to take a look at these boards for U.S. Air before they come by this afternoon.
Right.
It feels like something's missing to me.
I don't like the graphics. Feels a bit parochial. Maybe it should be in black and white.
What do you think, Nick?
Well, I don't know who you've had working on these, Dan, but I don't know. It seems kind of, what's the word? Parochial to me. What do you think, Darcy?
I totally agree, especially about the graphics. They're parochial. It's so funny you just said that.
Yeah? Huh. And you know, once you get them to try it in black and white, it might punch it up a little.
As Nick continues to listen in on the minds of women, he starts to understand their struggles, insecurities, and desires in ways he never had before. His relationship begins to change. He even grows closer to his estranged teenage daughter, Alex, finally understanding her feelings and fears. Over time, he begins to develop real feelings for Darcy, seeing her not as competition, but as a brilliant and kind woman.
I've learned a lot from you.
Like what?
Like what? Well, for starters, you really love what you do.
Do you really love what you do?
No, not as much as you do. It
You
just
say
comes
that.
out
You're
like...
so great at it. You're so great at it. I think Dan's even wondering why he hired me. Really. I think the bloom is definitely off the rose.
Nick and Darcy spend more time together, becoming romantic. However, he steals Darcy's ideas for a new Nike ad campaign aimed at women, though he later regrets his actions, especially as it leads to Dan firing Darcy. Nick is remorseful and persuades Dan to rehire her, confessing that the ad was her idea.
Dan, Nike bought an idea. It wasn't even mine. Every good idea that they loved yesterday came from her. And if you don't get Darcy McGuire back in here, and I mean pronto, the board is going to be paying you your settlement. I mean, this is all about saving your ass, right? Save it.
Over time, Nick succeeds in repairing his relationships with female acquaintances, especially those at work. He loses his gift during a severe thunder and lightning storm while on his way to see the company's secretary, Erin, who has been contemplating suicide. He offers her a position for which he had previously turned her down. She accepts. That night, after much contemplating, Nick decides to visit Darcy and explains everything. She fires him, so Nick walks away, but then
That's it?
I don't want that to be it. I don't want that to be it at all.
And don't let a little thing like me firing you stand in your way. I didn't know what to react to first. Hey, newsflash, I took the wrong road. What kind of knight in shining armor would I be if the man I love needs rescuing and I just let him walk out my door?
Darcy forgives Nick, and they share a kiss.
What Woman Wants explores themes of gender dynamic, empathy, and personal growth. It humorously critiques male privilege while showing how listening and understanding can lead to meaningful changes. Through Nick's journey, the film highlights the importance of respecting women, not just in relationships, but in all aspects of life. 接下来我们来揭晓今天的学习内容。The phrase "punch it up a little" means to make something more exciting, engaging, or impactful. It's often used in creative contexts like writing, presentations, performance, or even cooking. Any situation where something could use a little more energy, flavor, or intensity. For example, the ad looks fine, but we should punch it up a little with bright colors and a bolder headline. The phrase, "the bloom is definitely off the rose," means that something that was once fresh, exciting, or appealing has lost its charm, luster, or newness. It often implies disappointment, fading enthusiasm, or disillusionment. For example, at first, she loved her new job, but after months of long hours and stress, the bloom is definitely off the rose. And that's it for this episode of Cinephile. You can find more on the Funday website. Let's make every day a fun day.
You must have looked so forward to meeting me.
I was dreading it. I had this whole other person built up in my mind.
Well, since we're sharing, I heard a few things about you, too.
Oh, yes, I'm sure. I'm the man-eating bitch Darth Vader of the ad world.
Verbatim.
Really? All right. Well, nice to meet you.